That's the gimmick. And these are the Pikachu pants. Don't make fun of my Pikachu pants, please. So I try to do this a few times a year. Probably kind of depressing. I know it's kind of basically for me, but I guess if anyone else ever watches the videos too, you can watch. But I try to do a few vlogs a year to say where I am life-wise, what is going on. So let's do one of those vlogs, right? It's 2021. It's halfway through the year. COVID is still going on. I still have not been able to get back to my world trip, unfortunately. Really sucks because I saved that money to do it. And it was already, kind of a knock on wood because who knows with health. I mean, I was just at the hospital earlier today, but that was still the plan. And the plan has been obliterated by COVID, which is very depressing. But it also, constantly you're reevaluating your life as you get older, and especially when you don't have anything to do. Basically, you're thinking about where's my life going? Because I already felt like the whole world trip was to try to motivate myself. Like I need to find a new perspective on life to keep me going because so often, and I'm going to talk about this, I feel like my life is only moral victories. And I even feel like that for video games now. So what I'm going to talk about, when I talk about those moral victories, I talk about all the health stuff I've had, the bad life that I had growing up, and the cliche stories too long didn't read or watch, whatever, abused growing up. I was always praying to God to save me from my life. And then eventually, as I got sicker and sicker, eventually it's like, I can't, my doctors were telling me I could die, and giving me a will. Do you want to write your will? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, wow, I can't keep praying to God because I'm going to die like this, right? And it took me a year before I could even work out again. And, I guess that's a moral victory that I'm still alive. And, some people think I look cool, whatever it might be. And maybe I look buff to a normal person. Maybe I look buff to a real normal, especially compared to a sick person, right? But at the end of the day, it's a moral victory because it hasn't really gotten me anything. Dedicating my life to being the most healthy version of myself that I could be. Who knows? Maybe I'd be dead if I wasn't like this, right? It's who can say? You know what I mean? I definitely have doctors tell me, well, Jesus Christ, we're surprised, with the way you look, especially your tests and all this kind of stuff. But I don't have anything to actually show for it. It's just kind of like a moral victory, right? You know what I mean? And I've also said that story, even when I do those fitness things, that I've always wanted to gain like another 5 pounds of muscle to the upper body, whatever, maybe get like an Instagram butt, whatever it might be. But I've been saying that for 5 years. I know that just with my amount of health stuff, I can't physically do it, right? So I have to try to be, I have to be positive. Hey, I've done a lot, especially for how sick I've been. For the majority of my fucking life now. It's ridiculous. But, I can't do anymore. So it's like a moral victory, but there's nothing really to show for it, right? And I know some of these stories are going to be depressing, and I've also felt like even video games have become just a moral victory, right? And I think about all the stuff that I've done in video games, and it's pretty incredible, actually, right? When I look at, so many of these games, and I feel like I talk about that Dragon Ball Fighter Z, right? No one has ever done what I've ever done for a video game, for a fighting game at least, like I did for that game. It doesn't matter if it's simple shit, complicated shit, combo video shit, foundational shit, like the entire foundation of the game is from me, basically, right? Small to big to crazy, wacky shit. And it's like, I tell myself, and you can like objectively look at it too, and it's like, wow, it's like, dude, millions of people play this game, and you are the best person that has ever done stuff for this game. I'm not talking about competitively speaking, because again, I don't play competitively anymore, but I did win tournaments while sick, and that's pretty cool. But when you think about what I did in terms of changing people's perspectives, it's like there's a single game I've done what no one else has ever done in the world. And then if you think like, wow, look at throughout the history of fighting games, no one has had that kind of legacy that I have had in fighting games. And it's crazy. And it's like, and that's like objectively speaking too. Like I look at it and I see so many other people that do stuff in video games, and it doesn't matter if my channel is smaller than other people's, because you can look at what they've actually done to change the perspective on what is possible in the game, what you can do, what became actual B&Bs or normal tech. It doesn't matter, from foundational to crazy shit. And it's like, wow, I have done more shit for the fighting game communities and fighting games than anyone else in the world, tech wise, and like changing the perspective. Again, I'm not talking about competitively because I don't play competitively anymore, but and that's crazy, right? To say that you're like, wow, it's like I'm the number one guy for that, right? And it's a moral victory though, because I don't have anything to really show for it. The only thing I have to show for it is you can see how many fucking crazy people I've had throughout the years. You know what I mean? I've almost had to go to the police about some of these guys. Like some of these guys are really not well. And even this year and going on through this, I remember when I had gotten Facebook again, or again, when I had first gotten Facebook after my doctors were telling me I could die. So I remember I got Facebook and I started reconnecting with people because I thought, oh, geez, I better start talking to people if I'm going to die. And if you just look at Facebook or something like this, right? And I started talking to some people from the video game community. Some I didn't talk to whatsoever because they're they were such pieces of shit. But there were some people that I talked to. And then throughout the years, I see that these people that even after that they were pretending to be my friend, I eventually found out. Because again, I had never even used stuff like Twitter before, stuff like Dragon Ball Fighter Z or things like Reddit, because I just try to stay away from that stuff, right? I only play video games casually. And that's something I know that it's kind of weird if people are watching this because they're like, wow, the difference between being proud of myself and proud of myself in video games is like there's a completely different amount of effort, right? Being healthy, I've had to dedicate my life to. Being the number one tech perspective changing guy, whatever, in fighting games ever has come like naturally, I guess, maybe. But, I see all these people that they would say that they're my friend, but as, the years have gone by and I find out things about like Twitter and all this other kind of shit, I saw these guys, all those years that I had left the community, they were talking shit about me behind my back. They were joking about leaving me for dead, joking about me dying. And then I see there's people that try to get people to join hate discords for me and everything. It's like, wow. And the point is, and I see these people that are held in such higher regard in video games. So many people have more thousands and thousands of people on YouTube. And that's not to say I appreciate anyone who watches my videos. I do. But, like, thank you. But when I see all these people have been more successful for doing nothing, and so many of these people have actually encouraged people then to lie about me, it's like, I feel like video games are just a moral victory. And what I'm getting at is just like health. I don't think a long time ago, now I feel like I can't push myself any harder. It's already taken everything I can. Video game wise, it's just a moral victory. And it sucks that there's so many people try to like hide what I've done in video games. But it's a moral victory in that I don't have a lot to show for it. And at the same time, I can't imagine ever doing any more. So it's like I feel like what else is there to do? And it feels pointless, kind of, right? It's like, again, it's almost incredible to think, again, I'm like, really like, imagine you are the best in the world at one perspective. Like, imagine it's like a sport team or something like that. Maybe the NHL award, whatever, the Olympics, and everyone has a different kind of category that they're good at. And it's like, wow, I'm the greatest tech guy in the history of fighting games. Which I smile because it sounds so stupid and it's true. And I'm laughing about it because I don't have anything to show for it. I guess the biggest thing is I scratch my balls while I talk about this is, I guess the proof of it is just how many people are in on trying to hide it. People profit off of what I've done. People that have done nothing. And it's like, wow, it's like that specific category of the Olympics, I'm number one. It's always the gold star. But it's like, what else is there to do? Do you keep playing games? Even though I play casually. And it's like, I can't, what else is there to do? And I guess, again, I'm trying to say it's like a moral victory because it's actually kind of depressing because it's like, wow, I can't, obviously I would like to make the YouTube thing work. I would like to make some extra money YouTube-wise, but it's just, it's chump change, right? Because all those millions of views were flagged for so many years that I basically made nothing off of it, right? Now you have people that are basically frauds and have never done anything in video games that are tech lords. It's insane, right? Um, and I guess what I'm saying, like, I need to figure out something to do with my life. And it's actually pretty scary, right? Which I want to get into. And it's like, wow, my life is over, right? It sounds scary, like I'm getting older. And, I think it's awesome that, I guess one good thing about, forcing myself to be healthy is, man, I was at the mall yesterday, dude. This girl was with her mom, dude. Oh my God, she had no fucking shame in her game. She was just, man, she looked at me and she bit her lip. She didn't even stop looking. And she's just like going like that. And I had to double take. It's like, is this girl really doing this with her mom? And I was like, man, I don't know if she's old enough to drive, though. Should I go ask her if she's old enough to drive? And I mean, that's kind of cool. But again, I guess, what do I have to show for this stuff? What do I have to show? Like, I need to find myself in life. Like, what is there to do with video games? There's nothing else I could do for video games. I've already proved beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you look at it, that no one has done what I've done to progress video games and fighting games. 20 fucking years of this shit since I was a little fucking kid. I was doing this shit. And it's like, if this is what I have accomplished, or if this is what I have to show for it, that's not good, right? If I'm 30 years old and I'm the best at the world at something, and the whole entire community has done what they've done, so it's such an extreme degree. Like I said, I've actually thought I may need to go to the police about some of these guys. I've had people find out where I live. Crazy motherfuckers on the internet, dude. It's not fucking normal. And it's like, I need to be able to show something for it, though, right? Or else you just gotta be like, I gotta move on. And I mean, I guess the good thing is that I've been able to do it so casually, you know what I mean? So it could always just be on the side, like, oh, maybe I'll look at something again. I just look at something and it works. But I think when you're thinking about, man, you're getting older, like, dude, you need to have something to show for it, or you need to move on, right? I don't know what else I could show for video games. I know competitively speaking, I know I'll never be able to, well, I guess I've done well when I've been playing online randomly, right? But I'm never going to be that dude that is going to enter tournaments again. It's just not realistic with health-wise. My hands, I had surgery on my hands so many years ago. That aspect of my life is gone. So it's like, what can I even add to the video game community? What can I add to the video game part of my life? And I always think that the only other thing that I could add video game-wise is if I could make my own video game, but then I have no skill at that. So again, that's kind of scary, because it's like there's nothing else to do for video games. It's time to even have that glimmer of hope of this becoming something, moving on, right? Because it's over. I did it. It's gone. So I don't know. That's kind of depressing to think. And I've been having this like nightmare actually. And these are going to get really depressing, right? I've been having this like nightmare where an example one I had recently, right? I was taking care of animals, and I was taking care of these kids. And I remember the background. It was like almost like a beach, but it was a monotone kind of colored beach or something. It was like very gray. And I was taking care of kids, and I was helping them. And I don't remember, like, someone said to me, it's time. Someone like said to me in the room, it's like, time. This is all you have left to help people. You're not young anymore. These are who you're helping. And oh my God, I like started crying in the dream. And I woke up, and this has happened like multiple times, and it's like, holy crap. And it's like, dude, I'm getting older, and I don't have anything to show for all these crazy things that I've done. Doctors telling me I could die. I'm still alive. Wow. I guess I got that acting job in that little independent movie. I've done some bullshit modeling, but again, modeling, I always say, man, I should have taken it more seriously when I had the chance, but I never expected to get sick. So what am I supposed to do? What do I have to really show for it? Wow, people steal my pictures on the internet. My fakes became more famous than me. So what do I have to show for it? Video games. You can objectively look at it. In the entire world, no one has done what I've done. That's crazy. Just pick Dragon Ball FighterZ. No one out of the millions of people have ever done what I've done. So many people, they are clinging. They've done one single thing in a video game, one single character. It's like, the entire game. And then game after game, so many years now, it's like, man, that's fucking incredible. I won the Olympic gold medal, but they didn't show the award ceremony. They hid it, right? I mean, that's fucking crazy if you think about it. So it's like, man, it's just, what am I supposed to do? I'm just getting older, and that's why I was like, man, hopefully the computer isn't shutting off. What is that? And it's like, I need to, that's why this whole world trip was like, man, I need to find that new perspective on life because things are bleak. It's scary. I feel older. I don't have anything to show for it. I'm only getting sicker. You know what I mean? It takes a lot to fake it, dude. It's getting harder and harder to fake it year after year, dude. And it's like, that's scary, right? That's why the world trip, I want to be like, man, what do I do? So maybe I could like find, it feels like you're running away from your problems or something like that, but I'm just sinking in this bullshit. And, of course, there's other things going on in life. A lot of people in my family have been worried about my brother. Not the one brother. I guess they're worried about that one. I told the story of that brother, they found him hanging. Then after they found him hanging, they found him naked in the road trying to get run over, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But the younger brother, people are really worried about him. And I have this really scary dream of my brother, too. Sometimes when you have dreams, you dream about the person. Sometimes when you dream about someone, even though they don't look like they do in real life, you know it's them. Do you know what I mean? And whenever I have dreams about my little brother, it's always my little brother when he was young. And I remember, excuse me, I had a dream recently where I woke up crying from it. Phew, boy, I don't want to get like teary-eyed saying it. I remember I was supposed to go to Japan in the dream. And my brother was there on the sidewalk, right? And my friend came to pick me up. Because, I guess, well, going off on a tangent here, some people really don't get what it's like to be sick. Even when I was in Japan, I was not go-getter out doing every shit every fucking day. There were days that I was sick. I was sick inside, couldn't do anything, right? So just because I was traveling doesn't mean I'm out every day, you know what I mean? I'm still fucking sick, but so I have that friend in Japan that was helping me out, but that was a friend who picked me up. And he was like, "Are you ready to go?" And I saw my brother, and he was at the airport, and he wanted to go too. And I'm like, I can't go. I got to stay with my brother. And my brother was like my kid brother. And I just started like hugging him, and he just started crying. And he's like, I want to go too. Right? And a lot of people are worried about my brother, that my brother's going to kill himself now too. People are worried about him. And I always tell my brother, it's like, dude, I know I'm not a good big brother, but if I can help you, you need to tell me, right? And I know that does weigh on me because it sucks that I'm a big brother and I'm the one that got sick, right? And, my brother, his story is, you know what I mean? Man, it's got to be depressing for my brother because he graduated that art school with like honors, one of the highest people ever in his college, university, college, whatever. But almost all his friends, they went to go work on Rockstar Games, whatever that is, Marinko, blah, blah, blah. So many of his friends succeeded, and my brother just he ended up not really getting to do anything, even though he was the one that graduated with all these honors. And I think about that story of my brother. Man, he did this art project one year, and it was so good. He had so many ideas for it. And even, me and my friends all looked at it like, wow, this is incredible. And it's like, what did they say at the art fair or something, whatever it was? And he's like, the judges just came up, they looked at it, and they're like, A. And they just walked away. And I was like, holy shit. And I was like, this was fucking incredible, dude. And they just looked at it glanced at it like, they didn't even, you did so much shit for this. They're like, A, we don't care. It's like, it's Zach, we're going to give you an A. You're one of the best kids here. And I feel like that must be so depressing to work on something and someone's just like, they gave you the gold star, but they didn't actually appreciate it. Does that make sense? And I don't know. People are worried about my brother, and I'm worried. And it's like, man, I tell my friends, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, I have a hard enough time taking care of myself. I just fake it. You know what I mean? And that's something different than my family that I've talked about, in my vlogs. One of the reasons that I'm able to push myself so hard is because so many of my people in my family were depressed, or they had actually a mental problem, like bipolar, manic depressive. And growing up around that, and I've told the stories of how I was abused, and my mom You know, she just said, "Oh, I'm bipolar, so I don't remember anymore." So she was never accountable for anything, right? And it's just like, man, I still know. Sometimes my mom comes up to me. She's like, "I know one day you're gonna admit that you love me," and it's like she doesn't know. She just doesn't fucking get it. So many people, I've told so many depressing stories about my family. You know, dad killed himself twice. Like, hey, you're about to die when he blew his brains out anyway. You know, I found my other uncle hanging. You know, I've told the family stories so often, but you know, I have different levels of like caring for my family. I don't really feel love anymore, but of course I care about my brother. But I went off on a tangent. But you know, that was one of the reasons that I'm able to push myself so hard because I saw so many people in my family were depressed, and I never wanted to be like that. Man, when I got that modeling job, and when I started becoming popular, and I was making money playing video games, I was like, holy shit, yes, my life, I can finally get the fuck out of here, right? And then, boom, lickety split, puking all over the place. Thought I was gonna die. Life went downhill. I just got sick. Just incredibly, boy, fuck me. You know what I mean? Finally getting out, but I feel like that's where, you know, my mindset is. It comes from a negative place because I didn't want to be just depressed. And I feel like my younger brother, when I think about him, he was always, I feel like he was afraid to care. Like, of course he cares, but, or hopefully he cares, but I feel like he was afraid to care. And, you know, he just let himself go so far. And I'm sure people that watch this know my brother's situation. It's just like, man, it's scary, you know, when I see him because I don't even recognize my brother half the time anymore, you know, and people are worried about him. And it's just like, man, I don't know. Too deep of a conversation, right? But yeah, so I guess that's me talking about the moral victories and stuff like that. And I just don't know what I'm doing with my life. You know, it sucks. It feels like a cross to bear that I have this natural talent at video games, but I have nothing to show for it. Or I have stuff to show for it, but I was not actually given the reward, right? And you got to get, you know, you can't live a life of just moral victories. You need to actually, I need something for the accomplishments, you know? But, man, so many health things going on as well. But I feel like this is so long. I don't even want to know if I want to talk about the health stuff. But yeah, it's still the. I was in this presentation for the cluster headaches. I did that. Health still stuck. Still no TRT. Still thinking about it. But you know, I know doctors were saying maybe I should try to go to Cleveland Clinic again, stay there for a week. But I don't really feel like doing that. Getting harder and harder to fake it. I did this acting thing a little bit ago. That was kind of an interesting experience, but not much to say besides that. I don't know, just really lost. And like I said, I'm not like a depressed person, but I get defeated a lot. And I definitely feel defeated in what am I going to do? You know, I've been at home for 2 years now doing nothing. Like, I really wanted that world trip. And you know what? I was already afraid that the world trip was I'm going to go on this world trip and I know it's not going to change my perspective. It's just, that was the fear. That was the fear that I would go on this world trip and it's like I already know what's going to happen. Nothing happened. I just ran away from my problems and there was nothing. There's no big, you know, light bulb going off. And running away from your problems doesn't even sound that good because, again, I'm killing myself trying to keep myself as healthy as I can. So I'm definitely not running away from the health shit. I'm always, Jesus fucking Christ, sometimes I feel like I'm pushing myself too hard health-wise. It's fucking awful, right? But I need a new perspective, and that's what that world trip I was hoping, you know what I mean? Find something. And you know, I have those videos I talked about before where, man, I thought maybe at one point years ago, maybe I could just try to help people. And I talked about that story before. I had that, you know, kind of moment where I was helping this homeless guy and we were in the bathroom together and, you know, like just fucking in the bathroom with me. It was, I kind of bladder shy, so it was kind of weird because like, dude, I can't even go to the bathroom like with you fucking watching me. It's kind of weird, bro. But helping this homeless guy. And remember, I tried to get him some food, and then I didn't get him milk for the cereal. And he's like, well, I can't drink or I can't eat the cereal without the milk. And I'm like, well, are you sure you don't want the cereal? I can give you a water. And he's just like, well, I can't eat it. Just keep it because I don't have milk. And I just felt, and he didn't say it like in a bad way, but I just felt like, you know what I mean? And that was years ago now. And I just felt, man, I'm trying to help people. Like, no one sees me helping these homeless people. You know what I mean? And that's not like, man, trying to say I'm Mother Teresa. And that's what I'm saying. But I had tried to make sure I do my good, right? I'm not saying I'm working at homeless shelters or something like that, but I've tried to leave my little stamp of goodness in the world for sure. I've tried to help people. Sometimes I feel like I've tried to help people so much, and I think it's actually like a personality flaw, of course, because sometimes I feel like I'm being a bitch. I'm being so nice to people, not even just like homeless people, but just helping that homeless guy, and it's just like, wow, no one's gonna know that I'm helping this homeless guy right now. And it wasn't so much that no one is going to know that I'm helping him, but I know that people are always, because even that was years ago now. And even before I was more in the video game community again, there were still all these people constantly lying about me. Like, I had no idea that the video game community, there was so many people in on it. I remember a handful of psychos throughout the years. Like, I know a good group of people that are psychopaths, you know what I mean? And they're always lying about me, and that sucks, you know what I mean? Because like, man, these motherfuckers have no idea what I'm doing right now, and I know they're just lying about me, and that sucks, right? Because people always want me to be bad, and I've talked about those stories when I tried to be more social, meeting people, and then because of how I look, people always thought I was a bad guy, and it's really depressing when it's like, man, not only do you have anything to show for it, but then people started thinking when they found out that you're helping people, they thought you were trying to get something from them, and it's just like, oh, I'm actually feeling worse for helping people, and I just try to avoid it. I actually can't remember the last time I tried to help a homeless person. That actually might have been it. I'm trying to think the last time, but what am I doing with my life, dude? It's fucking scary, dude. Does that make sense? I got my own worries. It's so hard to worry about the other people in my family, and not that I don't really have a lot of love lost for my fucking family, but there's different levels of some people I care more about others, but you know what I mean? It's like, man, what am I don't even know. I feel worried about my brother, because the younger brother is the one that I care about the most. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to help you. And like, dude, I'm faking it right now. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do, dude. Like, it's hard enough for me to fake it. Things are not good with me right now. And I don't know. This is a long one. Talking to a wall. You know what I mean? Anyway, depressing kind of shit, I guess, right? The end.